90 days to unrecognizable. I want to tell you what that actually means. Not the feelings, not the mindset, not the breakthrough moment. The actual physical daily reality of what you do the morning after the lightning strikes. Because here's what nobody tells you. The healing happens, the lightning strikes, and then you wake up and the old life is still there. Same home, same body, same bank account, same social circle, same clock. Except something is completely different, and you do not know yet what to do with it. I know this because 90 days ago, that was me. And in this video, I am giving you the 5-step practical guide I used to actually live inside my healing, not just feel it. Stay with me, because step 3 is the one that most people never think of, and it is the step that changed everything for me. Step 1, the Worthiness Audit. Let me ask you something. Do you have something beautiful sitting unused somewhere in your home right now? A candle you are saving, a perfume you never spray, products you bought and put away for a day that somehow never comes. I had a brand new Mary Kay cosmetics set I had never used. I had Chanel perfume, Chanel, sitting on my shelf that I never wore. I had makeup I had been saving. I had workout clothes, brand new, tags still on, for the someday that I would exercise. That someday that in the past never came. I never thought I was good enough to use my own products. And when I finally looked at that, honestly, I saw it was not about the products at all. Hoarding is a scarcity mindset. I was overbuying because I was afraid I would never have the money again. And then I was not using what I bought because I did not feel I deserved it yet. That is a very old story, and it was running my life without my permission. The first step after the lightning is a worthiness audit. Look around your home. What are you saving for a future version of yourself? Because here's what I know now. That version of you is already here. You are already here. You are already her. Now I look in the mirror every morning and I say, look at you, Yolanda. You are taking care of your skin. Look how beautiful you look. I wear the Chanel. I use the cosmetics. I get dressed every day in nice clothes that are appropriate clothes I feel good in. And those workout clothes, I wear them now because that someday finally came. That is what worthiness looks like when it lands in the body, not just the mind. And if any of this is resonating, if you recognize yourself in that woman who was hiding her good things, I created a free 30-day journaling guide called Feel It to Heal It. 30 prompts, completely free, linked in the description below. Go grab it. But stay with me because step 2 is the one that took the most courage. Step 2, seek the experts. After the lightning struck, I made a decision that changed everything. I stopped showing up to my life as someone waiting to be helped, and I started showing up as someone who was ready to heal. I walked into my doctor's office and I said, I do not want you to treat my illnesses anymore. I want to heal. I want to heal physically. What does my body actually need to be strong, to be vital, to be flexible, to be energetic and active? She could see the tears in my eyes. She could see I was ready for change. And that readiness changed the entire conversation because I had discovered something I had never fully felt before. I have agency. I write my own story. I can heal physically. Those 3 realizations changed everything. And here's what made the difference in that doctor's office and in every expert conversation I have had since. I started asking better questions. Not what is wrong with me, but what does my body need to thrive? Not how do I fix this, but how do I heal completely? The quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. And if you want to go deeper on that, my Ask Better Questions workshop is linked in the description below. Because when you ask the right questions, your subconscious starts searching for the answers that lead you directly to the life you want. I enrolled in physical therapy, not to manage pain I thought I would have to live with the rest of my life, but to build a young, strong, vital body. I scheduled every appointment I had been putting off: the colonoscopy, the mammogram, the dermatologist, the podiatrist, the ones we avoid because we do not feel worthy of that level of care. I took that resistance band home, I put it around my legs, and I did my exercises, not just at the physical therapy office, at home. And it did not stop there. Every day now there is physical activity: Tai Chi, walking, stretching, the resistance band, something every single day. Because the woman who had workout clothes sitting with the tags on, she is gone. I write my own story now, and in my story I am a woman who moves her body every day. And 90 days later, I can pick up my granddaughter without being in excruciating pain. That is not a small thing. That is everything. But I did not stop at the doctor. I just met with my financial consultant. Together we came up with 3 financial priorities. She helped me gain clarity that only an expert can glean from your desires and the outcomes you want. Just like my doctors helped me gain clarity on what it actually takes to be a healthy person, not just someone constantly treating illness. That is the difference between surviving and thriving, and you cannot always see that difference alone. That is why you find the expert. I found a business coach, someone who helps me with strategy, advice, and marketing. Because having agency means you also invest in the growth of your gifts, not just the healing of your wounds, the growth of your gifts. Make a list of every area of your life: physical health, financial health, business, social health, mental health, spiritual health. And ask yourself, where am I still trying to figure this out alone? Seeking the right expert is not weakness. It is the most powerful thing a healing heart does. It says, I have agency, I write my own story, and I am worth being well in every single area of my life. Step 3, find your models. Okay, this is step 3, the one I told you about in the beginning. After the lightning, you are open, wide open. And if you do not put something intentional into that openness, the old habits will quietly fill it back up before you even notice. So I went looking for models, not influencers performing a perfect life, models. Real people who have already built the standard I want to live by and who show their process, not just their results. For my home, I found the awkward mom. What I love about her is her humor about the have-tos. Wash the dishes, wash the dishes, wash the dishes. She uses a timer not as a discipline tool, but as a way of being kind to herself. She practices self-forgiveness. She spends laundry day binge-watching TV while she folds. She is self-indulgent in the most beautiful way. She accepts imperfection with a smile. I find her warm. I find her healing. I find her easy to follow. I do not want her house. I want her spirit. For my kitchen, I found Doña Angela. Her YouTube channel, De Mi Rancho a Tu Cocina, From My Ranch to Your Kitchen, is more popular than all the most famous chefs in the United States. She is a Mexican abuela, continuing the tradition of rustic, wholesome, healthy Mexican food. Food from her garden, cooked on a wood-burning stove, wearing her pretty aprons. She is everything I want to be as an abuela. I do not just watch her to learn recipes. I watch her to remember who I come from. For my body, I joined a Tai Chi class, And one of the most important things about that class is that I have the other people to change with. You find a group and you change together. That compounds in ways that changing alone never does. For my spirit, I am part of the Jose Silva community. I also joined a Buddhist temple. I now have a community of people who are after the same things I am after. Find somebody to model. Find somebody who has already done it and copy them. Not their life, their standard, their spirit, their process. And find a group. Do not try to do this alone. The other people in that room are part of your transformation, whether you realize it or not. Step 4. Your system plus inspired action. Now here is where most transformation advice goes wrong. They give you a system and tell you to execute it with willpower. And willpower runs out every time. What I discovered is something different. I have a list. I have my to-do, my physical therapy, Tai Chi, morning pages, cook lunch at home, reach out to a friend. The list exists, but I act inspired with each one. What does that mean? It means when I feel stuck or overwhelmed, I do not push harder. I use my tools. I meditate. I get guidance. And then I realize it's all play. Everything will work out, whether I do it right or wrong, because there is truly no wrong. They are all learning experiences. They are all experiences to be savored. They are experiences to be lived. They are all part of the growing in my garden of life. Let me tell you what that looks like on an ordinary afternoon. I was walking with my 3-year-old twin grandsons and their 11-month-old sister. We were not walking to get anywhere. We were just walking. And my eldest grandson stopped and looked up at me and said, "Nana, what is that smell?" I could smell it too. It was the flowers from a tree in bloom. The wind was carrying the scent toward us, and my youngest grandson looked up and said, "It smells like hot chocolate." It did. It was truly a sweet smell. And in that moment, I understood something about this whole journey. Life is sweet. A walk is not just about the destination. It is about stopping when the wind carries something beautiful toward you. It is about letting one 3-year-old remind you to smell the flowers and letting the other 3-year-old remind you that flowers can smell like a taza de chocolate, a warm cup of hot chocolate. And that is enough. That is everything. That is what inspired action feels like. You have your list, you have your direction, but you stay open to what the wind brings. You let the garden grow in its own time. You stop when something blooms. I want you to have a balance between your system and your inspired action. Let the list hold the shape. Let the garden grow. Some days everything blooms. Some days one small thing opens. And both of those days are part of the same garden. Step 5. The storytelling game and the Paul McKenna moments. The last step is the one nobody teaches. And it is the reason I have not lost my transformation even on the hardest days. I call it the storytelling game. I briefly did stand-up comedy. And what I discovered is that the best humor does not come from anger. It comes from joy. From accepting imperfection and smiling at it. From finding the gift in the mess and relating to people about it. Here is the 3-step process. First, find the humor. There is always humor if you are willing to look for it. Second, enjoy the moment. Be present in it, even the hard ones, especially the hard ones. Rah! Because this moment is the material for your story. Third, be grateful for the gift. Smile as you imagine telling the story, because you are the star of the story. Shine bright, ham it up, then do it. Like the awkward mom who dances before she cleans, she has already decided the chore is going to be joyful before she even begins. That is not denial. That is devotion to your own joy. Doña Angela always tastes her food with a smile, letting you know it is just as delicious as it is nutritious. And if you want to know what joy looks like at its most pure, I want to tell you about a Sunday afternoon with my grandchildren. My 3-year-old twin grandsons were on the living room floor. A million blankets, the big pillows from the couch, and they were playing pillow fight, pillow fight, pillow fight, giggling, shouting, completely lost in the joy of it. And my 11-month-old granddaughter, she cannot walk yet, but she could stand and fall and stand again. And she was right there with them, not getting hit by the pillows, not even able to fully play the game, but screaming with laughter, jumping up and down on the blankets, enjoying every single minute of it. That is play. That is the way you should go through life, laughing, giggling, up for a pillow fight at any time. And it was in a moment like that, seeing their eyes, that I did one of Paul McKenna's hypnosis techniques. He teaches you to see yourself through the eyes of the people who love you. And I chose my grandchildren. I chose their eyes specifically because their eyes are always seeking fun. Their eyes are always joyful. They live life to the fullest, the way only babies and toddlers can. And when I saw myself through their eyes, through that depth of love, that depth of joy, that depth of living fully, I saw something I had never seen before. I saw Nana. Nana radiates with happiness and joy. Nana radiates with love. Nana grows like a flower. Nana shines like a star. And underneath Nana, there was Yolanda. And Yolanda, she is something to behold. She is worthy of love. I learned that 58 years old through the eyes of 3 babies on a pile of blankets. That is self-love. Not the kind you read about, the kind you feel. The way your grandchildren look at you, that is how you need to look at yourself. See yourself through the eyes of the people whose love is the purest love you have ever known. That is the storytelling game at its deepest level. You stop being the critic of your own story, and you become the grandmother watching herself from a floor filled with blankets and pillows, laughing, radiating, worthy, and completely enough. Resolution. So here's your 5-step practical guide for the morning after the lightning strikes. 1. Do the worthiness audit. Open the channel. Wear the workout clothes. Use the good things today. You are already the future you were saving them for. 2. Seek the experts in your body, in your finances, in your business, in your social health. Show up with tears in your eyes and tell them, I am ready to heal. They will meet you there. 3. Find your models. Find the people who have already built the standard you want. Copy their spirit. Join their community. Let Doña Angela remind you where you come from. Let the awkward mom give you permission to dance before you clean. 4. Build your system and act inspired inside it. Let the list hold the shape. Let the garden grow in its own time. Stay open to what the wind carries toward you. Some days everything blooms. Some days one small thing opens, and both of those days are part of the same garden. 5. Play the storytelling game. Find the humor. Enjoy the moment. Be grateful for the gift. Shine bright. Hem it up. And see yourself through the eyes of the people whose love is the purest love you have ever known. And if any part of this feels like you are starting your life over, you are. You are not going back to who you were. The healed you is starting a brand new life. And that is not scary. That is the most exciting thing that has ever happened to you. Because here's what I know about you. You would not still be watching this video if the lightning had not already touched something in you. You already feel it, that opening, that readiness, that quiet knowing that something is shifting. That is not nothing. That is everything. I am enough. Life is enough. The effort and the journey is worth it. Even if I wind up in the same place, I return with a heart full of gratitude and the knowing that I am enough, and that is a gift. I am the creator of my life. I write my own story. I'm healed physically, mentally, and spiritually. And so are you. You just need someone to look at you the way your grandchildren do and tell you that you are something to behold. You are something to behold. Una página más, one more page, one more step, one more day. That's all it takes. Write your own story. Before you go, I want to ask you something, and I genuinely want to know your answer. Drop it in the comments below. Whose eyes do you need to see yourself through today? Just one person. I read every single one.